Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. Did you crush the weekend? Well, I hope Monday doesn't crush you. You can't let Monday crush you. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the cast of characters are behind me as well. Does one look familiar to you? It's a Monday morning, and your second stimulus check and second stimulus package will be the front page discussion du jour, from members of Congress, as Josh and Bernie will blockade anything that comes across the Senate that does not do what they want to have done. What they're planning to do is the following. They're planning to say, hey, we're not allowing any stimulus, we're not allowing any congressional budget bill to pass unless you call a vote for our second stimulus check bill. It's quite ingenious. It's basically saying, give us the second stimulus bill or we're blocking your thing from coming. Now, as we start the Monday morning, there still is no bill from anyone about the continuing resolution. They have never reduced it to a bill. So there's talks about new this and new that, but they're still not bills. But in this video, I have really exciting, great news about stimulus that's coming from your state for rent. This is $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 of rent, $15,000 of rent stimulus that viewers are getting. Additionally, I'll go over utility stimulus. This is following the 6 o'clock broadcast on this channel in which I went over the new stimulus checks that are landing in your bank account or in your mailbox from your states. Boy, it's just suddenly there's stimulus checks everywhere. I'm here, you're here, and let's get going. This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE. I'm so glad you joined me on a day in which everything is getting very exciting, very quickly across the board. There's so many stimulus checks that I now have to cover on a given day that I'm breaking them into subjects so you don't get overwhelmed. In the video right before this, the 6 a.m. edition of Early Mornings LALATE, I went over the states that are sending out stimulus checks. Minnesota, Maine, Colorado, New Mexico, Oregon, North Carolina, the city of Houston, Pennsylvania pending, and also pending New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, and Delaware. Then I also went over the counties that are sending out stimulus checks to their residents: Jacksonville, Orange, Nome, and also pending Escambia, Fort Worth, and Gadsden. Those were for state stimulus checks, real stimulus checks, nothing but stimulus. Then in this recording, I'm going to be going over I'm going to be going over the rent stimulus, which is not automatic. You have to actually apply for it and ask for it. That is being given to viewers $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. This is on top of the federal stimulus, what's happening in Congress this week, and on top of the multiple stimulus checks that Joe Biden wants you to have in January. Really exciting news. If you've not subscribed, please do. Please subscribe, because no one's getting this money more than this viewers of this channel. We're fighting tooth and nail to get all the money you qualify for. And ultimately, you may qualify for more than one stimulus check. You may get multiple stimulus checks because of this channel, not just one. Also, like this video. Over there is an instant premiere. If you're tuning in for the very first time on Early Mornings LALATE, it features an instant premiere so you can chat with your Purple Power buddies. About 60,000 people tune in every morning, so it's a lot of fun. It's very easy breezy, gets you through the new day and gets you up and formed as quickly as possible. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that there's so many stimulus checks that are either in the mail or set to be mailed or being debated this week that viewers may get a little bit overwhelmed with which one's which. I'm breaking them down very slowly. In the video before this, I went over state and county real stimulus checks that have been mailed. They're confirmed, they're in the mail. Those are from cities and counties. Now, this is Monday. More of them may be announced today and tomorrow. These are cities and counties. As they're announced, I'll update the list and go on air, either taped or live, and give you those updates. So if you don't hear your city or county, if you don't hear the state of California, you don't hear the county of St. Louis, then I will go on air when I hear something else about new stimulus checks being announced in certain locations. Really exciting, great news. Then what you're also hearing this week is the battle over Josh Hawley Republican out of Missouri and Bernie Sanders, independent out of Vermont, their bill, second stimulus check bill, in Congress. The battleground is basically the following. They've introduced the bill, they've written the bill, it's been introduced, a standalone stimulus check bill. It has items that need to be revised. I've been telling Purple Power followers for all weekend long to tag them, who to tag, and get the message out loud and clear. The bill has errors in it in that the language is not particularly clear for adult dependents. You want to fix that language. It also needs PUA, UI, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance. It needs those things in there. They've actually written a bill, but their plan is to basically say, hey, you vote for our bill or we're not allowing you to get any CR ever pass. We're blocking everything. And this is Republicans and Democrats. And Josh Hawley, I don't say this every recording because it's just too much to cover. Josh Hawley has spoken to the president extensively about vetoing anything from anyone unless there's a stimulus check in there. So that's that part of the equation. And the president wants you to have a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. The other part of the equation is the state stimulus for rent stimulus, and utility stimulus. In this video, I'm going to be going over those details right now. There's a series of states that are doing state stimulus and cities that are doing rent stimulus across the board. Let me break them down one by one slowly. First, rent stimulus is being done in certain cities and counties. They are New York, Nashville, Harrisburg, San Diego, St. Louis. These are places where they're doing rent stimulus for people who can't afford rent because of the pandemic. Then there are private organizations who are stepping up and they're paying for rent stimulus. More about them in a second. I have them in front of me. Then there's utility stimulus. Utility stimulus is being paid nearly everywhere. Much of all of Missouri, much of the counties of California, much of the counties of Arizona, and similar like that. Utility stimulus is being paid by the utility companies, where they're either foregoing it or taking it off the bill or actually giving you an allotment for it. Then more counties being added to the list for rent stimulus, and more cities as well. New cities are included like Atlanta, the state of New York, counties across Georgia like Gwinnett and DeKalb, if I pronounce it right. My pronunciation's always off. And this is all really exciting news. Now, when you go through all those, then there's more after that. See, I don't leave any stone unturned. So viewers every night on Purple Power Live detail where they have gotten rent paid for themselves. And they come on air and they say, I got my rent paid from this in this particular location. These are private organizations that are paying rent, and they are nonprofits. They're very, very well respected, nationally known. They've been around for ages, and they're paying people's rent and utilities across the board. And you should get this as well. Again, you have to apply for it. It's not automatic. They don't just like send you a check because you have nice Christmas decorations. No, you actually have to reach out to them. So where and what and who? In Mississippi, Mercy House, Home Saver, Salvation Army, and MSHDA Eviction Diversion have paid rent for viewers of this channel. In Philadelphia, there's about $4 million in stimulus being announced, so go apply for that. In Indiana, viewers have gotten rent from indianahousing.org and 211. In Clark County, viewers have gotten rent from in Las Vegas, viewers have gotten rent from Clark County Services. In Pennsylvania, they've gotten rent from United Way. In New York, they've gotten rent from One Shot. In Michigan, they've gotten rent from Salvation Army. In Arizona, they got rent from New Leaf, and they've also gotten utilities from New Leaf. In Georgia, they got rent from United Way. In Dallas, they got rent from the cityofdallas.com. For mortgage, they've gotten mortgage assistance from 877 Get Hope, part of United Way. In Delaware, they got rent from 211, and same thing in Texas, 211. In Rhode Island, they got rent from Crossroads. They've also gotten rent from Rhode Island Housing Authority. In El Paso, they got rent from Project Bravo. Things like, San Bernardino, they got rent from San Bernardino Housing Authority, which I didn't even know there was such a thing, but yeah, they got that as well. In Texas, they got rent from St. Mary Magdalene's. They've gotten rent in Kentucky from Community Ministries. They've gotten rent in New Jersey from United Way. They've gotten rent in Ohio from Community Action. They've gotten rent in Massachusetts from Interfaith Social Services, and in Phoenix from TCDC. Then when you look across the entire country, viewers of this channel have gotten rent, food, utilities, and or gifts for children 16 years of age or younger from Salvation Army, Community Action, United Way, Children's Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. All really exciting. Basically, the net result is that if you're in a city or county, you look to your city or county, see if they have a rent stimulus, see if they have utility stimulus, see if they do or they don't. If they don't, then listen to this recording. If you heard your statement, missed it, you can pull the toggle button at the bottom of the screen and replay the video back to where you heard me mention your state if you missed the organization or you want to write it down. What's important to understand is that then if you reach out to your city or county and they don't have anything, then these organizations are available. Then if you don't hear any organizations specifically tied to your city or state or county, understand that those nationals that I said at the very end, those ones that are in so many locations, those are ones to reach out to as well. They're paying everywhere. The net result is for any viewer that says, there's nothing where I am. It's just never, ever, ever true. It's never true. There's nothing for where I am. This is just not true. It's categorically untrue. At least there's utilities for where you are. Even in the hardest places to find things, there's always utility stimulus. But in many cases, there's still utility and rent stimulus. Next, I have some people that say, I have no money for my children to get them Christmas gifts. These charities do Christmas gifts as well. Salvation Army, United Way, and Toys for Tots. Incredible relief for gifts during the holiday season if you can't financially afford gifts. The hardest group that we've had problems getting something for is toys or Christmas gifts for anyone 16 or years or older. So adults and seniors, holiday gifts, we've had problems finding any organizations that do that. If you know any organizations that do, send a DM at LALATE or on Instagram at LALATE_. Finally, if you have gone through all this and you're like, I still can't find this, what do I do? Go to the community page of this channel. It's news.lalate.com/community. It's a very simple page. It's a one-page part of the LALATE website, the news website, has a series of animals on the top of the page, and then you go down the page, and it separates the volunteers by Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Reach out to them. It's very easily and simply designed. If you like Facebook, reach out to Facebook. If you like Instagram, reach out to people on Instagram. If you like Twitter, reach out to the ones on Twitter. And they're absolutely wonderful, nice people. They tune in every night to Purple Power Live, so they're updated about what other viewers say they got money from. They do a lot of help. They do about 30 something cases a day. Some are reading 300 messages a day. So please be respectful of their time. When you reach out to them, indicate the city and state which you're from, and indicate what you're looking for, and be respectful, and certainly make the effort to find it yourself before reaching out to them. Finally, if any of you are really in an emergency situation, certainly make that clear, like I am about to be evicted. Also, if you have been evicted and you're homeless and you're tuning into this channel, understand that a lot of this relief applies to you as well. A lot of the rent programs do pay for rent, even though you've been evicted. And additionally, if you need someone just to talk to, the volunteers do that as well. Finally, if you have questions about EIDL, there's still a mentor for EIDL that can help your questions across the board. There's so much breaking today, and what I want you to understand when you hear what hits throughout the narratives today, I want you to not be predisposed to coming to a conclusion about anything. So if Nancy Pelosi says something, or Manchin, or Romney, or Mitch says anything, I don't want you to say, oh no, this is just what they said. Oh, I'm so depressed because they said this. No, because we really are dealing with 5 or 6 different fractions trying to do something for you. The most important people at the moment are really Hawley, Sanders, AOC, Warren, and Mitch, and the president. Those are the most important ones that you really need to stay laser focus on. Share the videos, tag the politicians, tag the people. If you missed Evening Check last night, tune into that as well. I have a lot of details, and Purple Power as well. I really appreciate you for joining me for this morning's early broadcast. Join me in a little bit at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Morning to LALATE, as I'll have the big update across the board. And then join me for Holidays LALATE at 12 noon, followed by Afternoon's Check. As always, thank you for joining me. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay up LA for more. Have a good morning.